The Whitaker Group continues to get as many collabs as any other brand in the Nike sphere. So the first thing that you know when you get this, if you get a brown box of some type, you got something that's a little foo-foo, all right? The first thing is you got a big sleeve, man, with the Manière logos throughout the box. So make sure you check that. There's a hole at the back of it, and you should be able to pull and use that as a slide to pull this off or put it on. It doesn't matter either way. But that's the casing for this box. And it is, of course, that kind of purple, royal kind of purple, violet ore is the color that you get from Manière. The box itself, you're going to have the logo on this side for Manière, and it's going to be on the opposite side. You also get it on the box where you can feel the cement print that's on this box. You can feel it. Now, I'm predicting that there won't be a stamp on the inside of this box top, so we're going to miss being able to do our QC check against our shoe tag. All right, I'm predicting that because very often these boxes don't have it when they're limited collabs or kind of polished or different color on the inside of the box. But we'll check that in a second. Let's get to the tag itself. Now, I want to hold this at an angle so I can see if I see my rectangle RFID chip underneath without having to peel back the label to look for it. So, and this is a little bit more expensive. I don't want to tear the label up on this guy and mess it up. But this is a 12.5. And that 12.5, like I said, Air Jordan 4 Retro SP, violet ore, medium ash, black. So you got a 12.5, style codes DV6773-220. And then we have the UPC for that 12.5, 196, 152, 408, 457. There's 16 at the end. Let's finally get to the point where we're taking the top off this joint. And on the inside it's printed, just like I thought. I hadn't seen the inside of it, but it's printed, and you have that Manière on the inside of it. On the inside. So there's no stamp on the inside of this lid that I can see. And I'm just making sure I'm right about that. The paper. Manière paper, kind of like wax paper. All right? No secondary sheet of paper yet. There's a secondary sheet that looks like cellophane. There is a rubber silicone Manière hang tag for this shoe. So there's a lot of little details on this sneaker. And you have the Manière kind of billet tapped in, kind of like a jean that's right here on the side, on the back rear quarter panel. And we're going to get to a lot more details on this shoe because there's a lot that we have to do the close-up on, which means I'm probably going to forget to hit some of my checks, and they may be out of order, but just bear with me. You do have, like I said, another clear sheet of wax paper on the inside. Now, I do want to pick this up. You have the YDM sticker, and like I said, there is not a QC stamp on the inside of it. So we have to go to the shoe. There's a lot going on. Bear with me as I crinkle this paper up, put it down, and get into this shoe. I gotta get to the close-up. But first, we don't want to jump and go too far ahead here. Pulling some things out so I can get to it. Interior, we got a piece of paper. It's not a cardboard, it's just paper, which Jordan Brand is getting smart about that because it does create a lot of additional waste for you to make a lot of different paper. Now, the insole comes out easily. The insole is satin lined. And what is that underneath? It's just a trammel. It's a little word. It's nothing of importance. You do have the stitch. Manière, inspired by street culture, fashion, and the greatest athlete in history. HO 2022 season HO. I'm not sure what the HO is. Somebody may tell me that one. I'm not sure. But it does have approved by Michael Jordan on this. And I'll show you that on the close-up. On the inside, you do have the tape holding that down. Why do they not just clip those? That's almost insane. Now, the tongue does have that elastic strap. Remember, this was a performance shoe, so it has an elastic strap that keeps the tongue locked in place when you're hooping in it. Now, more than likely, nobody except for maybe PJ Tucker would hoop in this shoe. You do have the netting on the side, but the netting on this one is back. It's the same as the white, but it's backed by a mesh-like material underneath. The full upper of the shoe is suede, except for these TPU kind of cage straps. These TPU cage straps, and then this piece of metal with the A logo. And it does have Nike Air at the heel. And the tongue, the left tongue has the Manière logo on the tongue. The back of the tongue, it's quilted. You see how the quilted part is here? The inside of the shoe is quilted around at the heel. So I need to get to the label because I'm way off point. Small code VW1, and that's made in Vietnam. Dates of production, hard to see that from that angle. 03, 30, 22, 2, 08, 13, 22. UPC last 4457. What did I say that was? 457. I'm good on that. Yep, I'm good on that. So I need to get to the close-up so you can see everything, because there's just a lot of little kind of funky stuff going on the inside of the shoe. Matter of fact, like tape, little stuff. It's bugged out. Why does it have all of this? I guess because there's so many parts on this one as opposed to how the original one is, including the inside. Like, if these didn't come directly from Nike, I would almost say they were fake, because there's just so many little details on here that are just kind of screwy, man. Just kind of screwy, you know, and that's just not a lot of care shown. I don't care who it is. You don't need to have tape inside of the shoe. That's so bugged out. But let's get to the close-up, because if we don't, then I'll just keep rambling on. And my apologies. I'm going to make sure I get all of these points straight so you guys will be good to go when you're checking yours. But the Manière 4s. Joints are reselling for a grip, too. Close-up. With so many different cues to authenticate this shoe on, the first thing you're going to have to do is look at your footbed. If your footbed doesn't look like that, you got something that's not right. All right? So you need to make sure your footbed is on point for those Manière 4s. The next quickest thing we can go to is that Nike hadn't switched over to the box for this type of bag just yet, but you got a silicone kind of rubbery hang tag with the Manière logo on it. And it's the same on the back as it is on the front. And that's hanging on the left shoe. Now, we get into authentication points, and we look at the front of the shoes. And your right shoe has a Jumpman, left shoe has the Manière logo on the tongue. On the inside of the back of the tongue, typically on the 4s, you have Air Jordan upside down on the tongue. You do not have the Air Jordan upside down on the tongue here. So that's not there. So don't look for it. This rubberized piece with Nike Air at the back, you can look at it to make sure everything lines up. The A and the R are both touching both sides. Touching both sides. So that's one authentication point that you can look at. I won't verify that it's like that on every shoe, because when you get smaller shoes, it may not be that way. All right, and this is a 12.5, so it's a pretty big size. You do have this billet, this tab like you have on jeans that's impressed into the side or debossed into the side of the shoe in the leather, and you have an unfinished upper around the collar. It's unfinished, but the majority of the shoe is a rough leather. Now, the inside is what I wanted to get to here, where someone may be like, yo, these shoes, something's wrong with these. These are not quite right. But you see that tape on the inside of it? They're like that. That's just how it is. And you do have this quilted interior. I almost dropped the shoe. You have the quilted interior, but it stops right here at the halfway point, right behind the elastic, and the shoe tag can be seen behind the elastic band. But one thing I want to make sure that's in the picture before I do this. And on the inside of the tab, kind of like the black cat, says it's about where you're going, Michael Jordan. And on the right shoe, it says, it's not about the shoes. It's not about the shoes. It's about where you're going. That's a great detail. I like that for the shoe. It rings up a little bit more expensive than usual. It's a $225 shoe. But most of the Alma Manière collab shoes are like that. You do have a very pronounced star pattern at the toe box. So yours should be that way. And it's smooth at the heel, no stars on the back. And these are just the details that you need to check for when you're looking at these shoes. All right, so the cement splatter on the box, I'm just picking that up so you can see it, is textured. You can feel that. It's a very sturdy box. Obviously, it's a coveted shoe, so it's reselling for a lot of money. You probably won't be able to find it below retail because it's not available anywhere else. But that's really all of your checks. And I just wanted to make sure I got those in so you guys could see it for the Alma Manière 4. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope everybody's doing great. Please subscribe to the channel, trying to grow it and get a lot more things done for you guys. And the shoes are typically brought in on consignment, or people just let me do these videos. So that's why you don't see any on foots. The only shoes you'll see on foot are the ones that I'm keeping myself. And those don't typically tend to be the shoes that everybody knows. I like really kind of random stuff. But that's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.